All right, guys, we are getting a huge truckload of garden soil for our big new garden area, and we can't wait to show you it coming off the truck. It's super, super rich, and we think it's gonna be really amazing for the garden. Wait. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, guys, so we thought it was gonna be beautiful, rich, black compost, but what we got is not that at all. We are gonna end up using some of this as mulch, and so they're gonna come replace it for us, and we're gonna have some beautiful, rich, black compost.
I wish that I had gotten you on camera, like running up to the truck.
I was like, no. So you guys don't know this, but a year ago when we were putting in the planter box, we got a huge load of basically the same thing sent over, and it's super, super heavy soil.
It's
really
awful.
good. It's good garden soil,
but it's awful to get into your garden. It's so freaking heavy.
Yes, and you cannot use it as mulch. So we're gonna replace this, and we'll show you guys hopefully tomorrow when it gets here, because we want to spread some.
Good morning, everyone. You're probably wondering why we have a U-Haul. Brian?
Listen, I don't seek out the deals seek out me.
You called me in a panic the other day.
Okay, so we are headed to Site 1 Landscape Supply, and if you haven't been to Site 1, it's pretty much geared towards landscape architects and landscape designers. They carry trees and shrubs and stone and hardscapes, and it's pretty much like a one-stop shop for like anybody who needs to get a bunch of plants or trees at one time.
But it's open to the public, right? Like, it's not just wholesale.
Yeah, it's open to the public, which I don't think we really knew, but I needed something and I went to take a look. I went last weekend to get seed for the yard and saw that they had a ton of really big trees, which is what I was looking for. But I looked around the yard while I was there because, you know, I can't just go and not see everything that they have. And at the back of the lot, they had 2 trees that were in boxes that really piqued my interest. And I got to the front counter and I asked about them, and she gave me a deal that I couldn't refuse. So it's 2 espaliered hornbeam trees, which if you saw our Chelsea video last year, they use espaliered hornbeam a lot in European landscapes and as screens between properties. But we usually just in America see hornbeams as tall, slender trees. So I was really surprised to see these espaliered trees, and there's 2 of them. And she told me the price on them. Originally, they're like $1,500 a piece. She was like, but I can give them to you for $150 a piece. So I had to take them. So now we're in a rental truck and we're going to get them because we can't get them home on our own without a truck.
Yeah. So
that's what we're doing, and we will show you in just a few minutes. Okay guys, so the 2 trees that we are getting are right here. They're these boxed espaliered hornbeams, and they are 7 foot wide by 5 foot tall. And obviously they are not leafed out yet, but Once they are, it's going to be such a really pretty green background on a fence area in our yard. Tyler, what do you think?
I'm like, how's this gonna work?
What do you mean, how's it going to work?
Okay, they're gonna help us get them in the truck. How do we get them off of the truck when we get home?
Where there's a will, there is a way. We're going to figure it out, folks.
They are really cool. I mean, it's basically 3 trees in one box.
Yeah.
That's
And
insane.
And it's going to be such, like, look how full, too, who they're starting to leaf out. Look how full of little tiny branches they both are.
Oh my gosh.
Front and back.
You're insane.
Listen, I'm telling you, the deals just find me.
This one's $25.
What is it?
I don't know. It's a flowering Yoshino cherry. Why is it so cheap?
Because
It has a lot of broken branches, I guess.
I think that they put things on sale back here because they have
$25
broken
though?
branches, and you can see the root ball doesn't look amazing. I'm sure you'd have to nurse the tree along. Probably wouldn't be that healthy, but I mean, not a bad price to take
the
a risk.
risk.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a bunch back here. It's very muddy too. This is a peach tree.
Wow, it's a beautiful shape.
Huge.
How much is that one?
50.
$50?
Yeah. If you're in
Can't go wrong with
Charlotte.
that. All right, we're gonna see how we're gonna get these up into the truck.
I won't be doing it.
You're not gonna do it?
They will be doing it.
Okay, well, they're gonna do it here, but once we get home, all bets are off.
Well,
getting them out of the truck was my biggest fear.
Yeah. The rest of it, somebody else's problem. Us.
All right, guys, what a morning. So we took our U-Haul back, we got our espaliered trees, and we got them out of the truck somehow, which was honestly a feat in itself because they were super, super heavy and the boxes were way bigger than I even thought they were. But before we did that, as the guys were putting them in the truck, our tripod took a tumble. And it broke a piece that had our microphones on it. So if we're not so clear anymore for like the next week, that's probably why. So we apologize, but there's still work to be done. So we are back now and we are gonna start tackling this back garden bed that's brand new. So first things first, we're gonna carry away this, the clippings, not clippings, what are they called?
The stump grindings?
Stump grindings.
Mulch?
I don't know.
I don't know what the right term is.
I don't know why.
We're getting it out of here.
Yes, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with whatever they're called, but Tyler's right, they have to go. So the first thing we're gonna do is get those out of here. After that, I think I'm gonna come back through and probably outline the new garden and sort of get the base of the shape that we want.
Which I think that will be good because you can explain to everyone like what goes through your head when you're carving out like a new garden area, because I think you're really good at that. You get the curves like exactly right. Somehow, my brain can't do that, but Brian will make it pretty.
I'm an artiste. Yeah, so that's what we'll do after that. And then I think we're gonna actually plant some trees and tell you guys what we're planting so far, what we've already purchased, maybe some plans for what's coming after that. And we're gonna plant the trees before we lay some cardboard down because we're gonna do this the easier way.
Yeah,
we're gonna
no dig method.
Exactly, no dig method so that we don't have to get rid of this grass. We also need to build the area between the two garden beds up a little bit because it's a little bit lower. So this is honestly the perfect way. Lay down cardboard, bring in some really, really beautiful organic material. We'll lay the compost down and then that gives us the perfect bed to plant in. So let's get started. Right, we did it. It didn't take as long as I thought it would, and it's pretty flat. So Brian has his little spray can. Does that have a wheel on it? No. The wheel fell off. You can use it with a wheel or without a wheel, but I think it's really helpful. Probably without the wheel, just so you can have a little bit more like free flowing.
Yeah.
But usually when I do this, and this is how we sort of marked out the entire perimeter of the garden when we first started, I went through and marked the edges, and if you go slowly and you just sort of follow a natural curve, it'll all look really nice, and it's just paint, so your grass will grow or it'll wash off either way if you don't like it.
And I feel like you usually do like multiple curves until you get it right.
Exactly, because if you start edging it in like with the edging tool and you don't like it, you can also come out a little bit more too, or go in a little bit more. So it's really, you know,
it's a nice way to imagine the shape before you like fully commit.
Exactly, yeah. So I think we're gonna mark this out, and Tyler, why don't you show them to the actual space. So we sort of foresee, as like we've said before, this garden by the shed that we call the shed bed, and this garden that had the two trees in it that we called the island. We're gonna connect the two, and I think our thought is for the center here to be super wide, well, I guess deep, this way towards the house, so we have lots of planting space for all kinds of trees, evergreens for sure, like we've been shopping for. And so we also kind of want to have a garden path through here, so when I'm marking it, I'm going to keep that in mind so that I don't go too far in on either side and not leave ourselves a lot of planting space. So I'm going to get started. Okay, so we've got our lines all sprayed out here, and you can see right here that I actually put arrows on the line that we're supposed to be using. The first line was just a little too flat for me, and we wanted a bit curvier of a space. And so you can see we come all the way out here, and then we run right into our original walkway, which we didn't want to cut in too far because you still have to have enough walkway to walk. On this side, you can see we're coming way out here, and the line sort of goes all the way down to the other garden, and that's on purpose because we have big plans for this space in the future. So we're gonna leave it blank for now. There's gonna be a hill here for now that we don't wanna interrupt. That's still gonna have grass on it, but eventually we're hoping to build a retaining wall there that's really pretty, with stairs that get up to this second layer. So all of this eventually will be garden as well. But we're gonna wait right now and sort of have these natural curved lines until we get to that stage so that everything feels a little bit more soft. So this is our full planting space, which you can see it's pretty deep. So I think we're gonna go ahead and get our trees in place that we already have. And before we start laying down cardboard for the no dig method, I think we're gonna go ahead and plant those trees so that we don't have to cut the cardboard and make sure that, you know, it doesn't get all messed up. So we're gonna start that now, and we'll show you guys the trees we got. Okay, so we've got all of our trees in place, and we stood around on all angles, and I think we really like this placement. Tyler's gonna tell us exactly what we've got.
Okay, first up we have a gold spire ginkgo. Now, we did want some regular deciduous trees in our garden, but we didn't want things to get really big again because we want to keep some of the sun we just got. So this is only going to get about 10 to 15 feet tall and only 6 feet wide. So a pretty, I would say, small size tree that we can kind of tuck in right here and still plant perennial shrubs all around it. Of course, it'll be really beautiful and green during the summer, but then in the fall, it's going to turn bright, bright yellow, which will be amazing. Over here, if you watched last week's video, you saw that we picked up pesto mugo pine from S&K Greenhouse. This is going to be kind of like a ground cover evergreen, so we'll get, I think, about 3 feet wide, but for right now it'll be this nice little ball that we can just kind of tuck in. And back here we have an indigo eyes pine. Now this is a Bosnian pine that will get not too big. I think it gets 8 by 6. But the cool thing about this one, and let's see if it has any.
Some right here.
Oh yes, right on this side. The pine cones in the spring come out and they have just a hint of blue to them before they go to their normal brown color, which is gonna add some nice interest. So we're gonna tuck this right here, and it is small now, but it'll get big, of course, in time. Yeah.
Okay, so you can see we have our arsenal of planting materials here. We have our power planter auger, which is gonna make quick work of this hole in this clay soil. We have our compost that was delivered earlier. That is super, super rich. That's gonna be so good for this evergreen. We have our biotone starter fertilizer. That's gonna get all those roots going. And then we have our Daddy Pete's soil enhancer, which we wanna plant in the hole for really good drainage, especially in our clay soil. These conifers need really, really, really good drainage. And you'll probably see us plant this plant up a little bit. Some people plant them in berms in the South, evergreens, because they just grow happier that way. They need really, really great draining soil, which is not something that we have here. So we're gonna plant it up a little bit, and then we're gonna use probably 1/3 of the compost and 1/3 of the soil enhancer. Here we go.
ran into a little bit of a snag. There is an irrigation pipe in here, and I don't think we hit it, but we're gonna run everything just to make sure.
Okay, so we have our ginkgo and our 2 conifers in the ground, and they're just so pretty. Tyler's walking the path now. Yeah, I think this is gonna be really pretty. Now, we're gonna put a tree right in the middle of this space, and we have something in mind that we'll tell you guys about later. But I think that the path is gonna be really great right through here, and then we're gonna fill all of the inner space with perennials. I think we have one more tree coming to plant over in the blank space on the other side of Tyler. And then the Japanese maple that is behind the ginkgo currently, Tyler's our crabapple. And then the Japanese maple that you guys are used to seeing right there, we are actually gonna move that over there to where that obelisk is with the birdhouse on it. And we're doing that because we really love the color of it and the fullness. And we really want that to sort of be the backdrop of that back formal part of the garden. We can just see some lights around it and some low white hydrangeas against the dark red of the blood good Japanese maple. So we're gonna move that Japanese maple, and then we're gonna put a few evergreens back there that we are super, super excited about. But I think what we're gonna do now is edge out this bed all along the lines that we drew out earlier. And I think I'm gonna do that because we're gonna come in with cardboard for the no dig method. And it might be a little bit difficult to edge this out with the cardboard here. And then we're gonna lay compost over the cardboard. So this will sort of act as a little gutter for the compost to go down into, and so that you get that really, really, really nice edge. So,
and we're gonna make sure that we soak the cardboard. One, because that helps it start to break down, but 2, it's really windy.
Yes.
So I don't want it to blow away.
We don't want all of our cardboard to blow away, but we're gonna try to get all of our compost on it tonight. It's, what is it, 4 o'clock or something?
4:30.
So it's 4:30. So we'll see how that goes. We might be here till after dark, but yeah, I think that we're gonna get to it. Okay, so I've got our edging all done, and you can see I went back around and scooped out a little bit of the edge to make that gutter like I was saying. But once we go back in here with compost, it's gonna be so beautiful, and you're gonna notice just such a perfect line. And I think that's our favorite way to make a new flower bed. The no dig method is new for us, and we had all of this cardboard left over from something. So I'm gonna go ahead and start watering it down so that it'll start disintegrating and sort of becoming one with the ground, and also that way it doesn't fly away. All right, everybody, it's a new day. We were out here last night spreading compost until, I would say probably like
6:30.
6:30, yeah. It didn't get dark, but the sun was going down and we were tired. Our bodies are starting to ache because getting all the mulch up and then spreading the compost and all the shovel work. You guys know,
Yeah.
we use an auger now, so we don't use shovels anymore. So it's a lot of work, and we were very sore last night.
But I will say that now it's daylight savings time, so we lost an hour last night of sleep. But that does mean today we'll have an extra hour of daylight,
Yeah.
so maybe we'll be out here much later. But I think today we're gonna try to finish spreading all of the compost. We're definitely gonna get to cover all of the cardboard, and we're gonna have some left over. So we're hoping we can do the whole middle, including the old shed bed. And then we also have a friend coming to take home this limelight on standard or panicle hydrangea on standard. I don't know if it's actually a limelight, but it's some kind of panicle hydrangea on standard. And we are going to transplant a tricolor willow to this area. So we need this little guy gone. So he'll be here in probably about an hour. But until then, we're going to get to shoveling some compost again.
Here we go. Okay, guys, that was a long day. I feel like
A long 2 days.
A long 2 days. It's been a long 2 days. I feel like we've been out here just like playing in the dirt for maybe 24 hours straight. Doesn't even feel like we've gotten a break, but we're done, and we had so much compost that we were able to almost cover the entire garden. And it all looks so fresh, and I think it's amazing. So we are having our annual tulip party next weekend. Tyler's birthday is on Wednesday, his big 3-2. So we're super excited to celebrate that this week, but also super excited just because the garden is beautiful and clean.
Yeah, we officially had 8 tons of compost delivered, and we still have like a little bit left.
Yeah.
So I think maybe next time we'll get like 7 tons.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was the perfect amount. And we did make that mistake at first, and we got something called Garden Max. So our Site One landscape supply has a specially like formulated soil that includes the native soil plus additives, but it's still clay colored. And what we were hoping for was compost.
Something dark.
Something dark. And so we went ahead and got that replaced with the compost. And I'm so glad we did because, like I said, the whole garden just looks fresh now. And I think, should we take them around the garden?
Yeah, why don't you show them?
Okay, so the sun is probably in your eyes, but I figured I'd just start at the start and come out here to the outside of the garden. We have to move that before the end of the week. But look at this. We were able to get that compost on both sides and really surround all of these gorgeous tulip bulbs that have been planted. They're all coming up, and it's mostly foliage right now, but it's going to be pretty next week, I think. So we have this entryway area. Earlier, you guys saw our friend come and grab our standard hydrangea. It was a limelight hydrangea, and that's the one that my mom had grown a long time ago. It flopped every year for us, and it's going to a new home. So he came and got that. We dug it out, and we have something fun and exciting that's going to go there. We were able to get this whole side garden, but you guys, look at this new garden space. It's huge. It just really feels like connecting these two spaces was always the right thing to do. And now we can garden in rooms. So like we said, we'll have that room back there. We'll have this room down here. And this just big, beautiful garden right in between.
I really like the structure of the ginkgo.
Yeah.
It feels just like very stately right there. As I'm looking out this way, everything is green.
Yeah.
So we definitely need some like red foliage to break it up and have some contrast. So we'll get that soon.
I think so, yeah. We're thinking of a Carolina Sweetheart Redbud for this anchor spot right here, because we still want this curve. You sort of walk around this area, and we still want something really interesting and pretty right in the middle of that. And then Carolina Sweetheart has really pretty pink and white variegated leaves. And so we think that that would be really beautiful. Like we said, we're moving the Japanese maple back there where the obelisk is. So we'll have that dark red as the background. And then as we go through the garden here, we're gonna add lots of different green textures and silvers with different conifers. So I think it will be really beautiful. So this is the new garden space. You guys let us know what you think. It's huge.
What should we name it?
Yeah.
We used to call this the shed bed. We used to call this the island bed. What do we call this?
Yeah. I guess the jury's still out. We'll have to figure it out. Giant bed. I think that's what we can call it for now.
I don't like that.
Well, we do have lots of plans for it. We have some drawn out sort of like mapping of what we want to do and planning. But it's just honestly so big and just like this big piece of opportunity sitting here that I can't wait to fill up.
It's really nice to see it fresh and ready for planting.
Yeah. So we also got this whole space over here. We have our little hottie hydrangea line here. We've got the cottage garden right here at the back that looks so fresh and clean with all this beautiful compost. And then look at the Union garden over here. So we just did clumps of tulips over here this year, and they're coming up beautifully. Like I said, mostly foliage for right now, but in a week or so, they will be beautiful. You can also see our stash of plants back there, which I'm sure every gardener has. And then this area over here that we ended up picking up those beautiful espaliered hornbeams that you guys saw at a really amazing deal. And so our plan for those is that one of them will go at this end of this fence, and then the other one will go at this end, and then we're going to have something really beautiful for in the middle. So lots to come here for this Union garden that we didn't think we were going to get to this year. What do you think, Tyler?
Excited. You also saw us lift up this Vanderwolf pine back here. It's really not doing great. I think there's a couple things wrong. One, we planted it too low. Two, we were giving it too much water. So we lifted it up out of the hole, added some Daddy Pete's pine bark fines, some compost, some biotone, kind of mixed that all with the native soil to help give the roots a little bit more oxygen and room to breathe. I removed the drip emitter from the tubing that was around the plant, and then we just kind of like sat it. It's almost like sitting on top of the soil at this point. So we're gonna give it like another season. If by next spring it's not looking better, we're probably gonna pull it and get a fresh one, because I really want one in that spot. We just made a mistake. Our mistake is your lesson. When you're planting conifers in the south, make sure you plant them up and give the roots really good room to breathe, and don't overwater them. Thank you guys for sticking around. I know this was a lot of just us shoveling compost, but it really looks beautiful now, and we're excited to share it with you guys.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.